Chijanangabo, Wakiso district. Here we have visited a certain agroforestry system. It's owned by Father Cornelius Ssempala, our own. And the system is really looking so good. So 2 years back, this system was set. And right now we are in a dry spell, but we are seeing things are really thriving. You cannot even believe this. So for people who are doing monoculture and so forth, you cannot have systems of this kind. The thing is really very good. We have found young ladies and gents working in this very system. They are so proud of the system and they are telling us everything good about the system.
My name is Father Cornelius Ssempala of Kampala Archdiocese, Uganda. I am working also at BLI and the Betana Land Institute. I have my small farm here at Chijanangabo, experimenting with regenerative agriculture in view of making a difference around Chijanangabo, especially among young people. The issue here is a lot of potentials here in this area. The soil and the distance away from Kampala is not too long, and there are a lot of capacity for young people if they have the right methods of dealing with nature. Luckily, we came into contact with Roland, who brought this new idea of regenerative agroforestry. He brought it more than 2 years ago to Nandere, and I watched the difference it was making, and it tallied very well with our philosophy of integral ecology, because it brought in various plants, each not competing with the other, but supporting one another, which matched our thinking very well. So we fell in love with it totally and started, and we could already see the results in 1 year at Nandere. So I said, no, I should not only spread it in Bulemes, I should at least venture to bring it down here also in this area. I applied, they gave me a favor, permission to, I provided 1 acre here, and BLI personnel came and they mapped everything and planted an area, one for coffee and bananas, another for fodder, another for fruits, trees, and medicinal trees and others, and another for a woodlot, for firewood and relaxation, shade, and and all kinds of forestry. I fell in love with it, and I said that I should try it. And in trying it, I have noticed a lot of advantages. It is so unique. It really works. It is good to talk about ecosystems and things, but to put it on the ground, that is the most difficult thing. But thanks to Mr. Roland, he really did it. He came and showed us how to do it, how to make different plants coexist in a very amicable way, not competing as the philosophies we are used to lie to us. Things can help one another, and I've seen it. And we are in the middle of at the peak of the dry season here in August. We are waiting for the rain, but the bananas have not changed. They are as green as if it has been raining every day. We have the avocados. In 2 years, you can see the tree of the avocado tree in the background. 2 years. Now, in 4 years, what will it be? It will be fruits. Now, why would a young man leave the village and go to ride border to sleep in very bad slums?
I'm Bambo Agnes Atralele, who is working in this very system of regenerative agroforestry. I'm very happy and glad for the work I'm doing and for the process that is going through. I'm really appreciating for the progress of the system. And foremost, I'm going to talk about the labor intensive in this system, comparing to other systems for other people. More especially, in mulching the system, it doesn't need much time to carry mulches from different places, but the mulches, I just get them from the system after pruning some of the banana leaves, then I mulch for the system to look fine. And due to the integration of the system, we have some grasses, the napier grass, giant, which we cut down and we mulch the system for it to maintain the healthy of the soil, the moisture of the soil in the system, for the better performance of other plants.
My name is Babide Tracy, and I'm one of the agroforestry power ladies. And in the establishment of this garden, this agroforestry system, I was part of it with the BLI outreach team. It was established in 2024, and it's around 2 years, not yet 3 years. And in establishing this demo, first thing that we had, it was the interest from Father Cornelius. Before, we had a workshop at BLI where we managed to establish an agroforestry system. But during the establishment, one of the people who showed a lot of interest, it was Father Cornelius. And so he said after BLI, he also needed one of a system like this. In 2024, we managed to establish this system. These were some of the first systems that we established after the workshop and the BLI agroforestry demo establishment. And so, after all these years, what I've seen, it is the change. In these 2 years, you can't believe that the bananas, they are thriving, the coffee, they have already harvested some fields. If you bring someone who doesn't know when it was established, he can deny that it's only 2 years. So this is showing a great impact of the agroforestry system and how it has brought the soil back to life. When we were establishing this system, it was full of grass this side and the soil wasn't that so good, healthy. But right now, we can evidence it by ourselves. We have to do a lot of densifying and also bring in other crops because the shade has now started covering around. So we are looking forward to work with the team here so that we can densify it more and it looks more.
The impact we want to make, our dream that one day young people love the rural more than the urban, because this urbanization is a colonial issue which we have not, subsequent governments have failed to address that colonial anomaly, although they continue to buy into that apartheid thinking that the rural should be worse than the urban. The urban, that's where the colonist lives, and the rural is where the African native lives. That one has to be challenged by, if a president or a minister is serious in Africa, and we are moving away from a colonial mentality into a different mentality. That is an issue which has been neglected by all politicians, and which we want to, through these projects, to reverse. We want to reverse mindsets. We can do it. You know, we can tell the people that your grandparents lived in the rural, they practiced integral ecology, and they survived better than in slum areas. And they had a culture, and they had a heritage to protect. But which culture do you protect in a slum area? Which children do you bring up in a slum area? You know? So these are the issues which are connected with the mindset change, challenging the status quo and making life better in Africa, which is possible. And so we are saying we need an impact. This has to make an impact. Agroforestry has to make a very deep impact in our cultural setup and our mind and our language. And then the best thing to do, because I've been an education for 13 years, I've been teaching education. For me, I see education is a very powerful tool. So we are trying to make an impact from the school. We have a school here, a Muslim school. We want to talk to the administration. We have already talked to the Catholic school, and the priest already needs our two youngsters Kasaja and Agnes to go and talk to them, and then he's already preparing 1 acre for us. And if an acre is there and the students are seeing it every day, and they have a comparative, they see how their bananas look at home, and they see how their minds can change. So that's the best way to start. That's the power of the Catholic Church, is in the schools. Power of the religions here is in the schools. And that's how you change it. And then we are lucky that there is a new curriculum which is practical. At BRI, we started with these youngsters who are filming me. I told them, you are going to teach me, I'm not going to teach you. They said, oh, teach you? How can we teach you? They taught me, and they learned confidence. Now they are manning everything. I don't need to be at BRI. They are leaders. Because their mind changed from I cannot to I can.
This system is good compared to other systems. So, number one is it is multi-purpose throughout the year, and this system, it can sustain itself compared to other systems. And for example, we have coriander. Coriander acts as fertilizer for the soil. Castor plant acts as medicine for the soil. And another one is, this system is good because there is food security for the entire ecosystem. You can't stay, or you cannot suffer hunger when there is this system. Bring an example. We have down there banana and coffee only. But here, we have a varieties of crops here. We have pineapple, banana, avocado, guavas. That's why there is food security. And this system, it can save fuel. Because that side, we have wood rot. And wood rot, we can go with panga and prune after we take our firewood to the kitchen, hence saving the forests. Because nowadays most people, they cut down trees, but you can establish this system to avoid such. We have to teach people on this system.
So that's what we are going to do. Then there are youth already around here. There are two already here. There is that lady standing there. Their minds also are changing. They were, when are we taking you to Bushenyi? But you can already start. What you see here, you can do in Bushenyi. Because in Bushenyi, what they are doing, they cut down all the trees to plant only bananas, or to cut down all the trees to do animals only. But these people can teach them a different something. So we can do something. Instead of throwing our arms up and saying the ecosystems are good, let's do something, start small.
One of the principles of regenerative agroforestry is integrated animal husbandry. You can integrate animal with this agroforestry, as you see. You can have your pasture, as you see here. You come, you cut, you take to the animals, and after you can get cow dung from the animals and you bring it back to the agroforestry. You get also urine from the animals, you bring it back to the agroforestry, and urine can help us in pest control. Cow dung can help us in fertilizer, and this pasture, you can also use it as mulches, so, hence improving soil fertility in this demo.
It's about whether this kind of agroforestry makes money. or it just looks nice. It both looks nice and makes money, because the bananas from here are bigger than the bananas from there. What I don't do here, what the other one, or the big banana which they bring in town at 40,000, what they don't tell you is the fertilizers they put in. They say, I get 50,000, you get 20,000. But the cost of running that banana plantain, very expensive. There are no trees, no shades, you have to water, you have everything. Here I have not irrigated anything. The water is down there. The roots of the other plants bring the water up, you know. So it is like, as they say, you take a Panadol or eat greens and carrots and fruits. They are eating a Panadol. For me, I'm using the greens and what. So, so if they take a Panadol and they heal their headache very fast, okay, I might take a bit, but mine is more sustainable. Then Panadol can be more expensive, you know, and it goes into the market logic again of having your hands tied to the market. Here I am free. I can eat all the fruits I want, and I can sell. There is money coming in. Sustainability, it might not be a lot of money. I might sell my banana, and the other one who puts many Panadols and can bring a big one at 40, my double one. But can he sustain it for 10 years? That's the question. The land without trees and without it's unsustainable. It cannot sustain it for the next generations. So I think that we have to put it within also temporal space to dimension to see. Mine might be sustainable for some time. I might get less, but I will be getting money for a longer time and getting food and more fruits and everything. It is just to change the mind that, you know, this kind of greedy attitude, and to learn to live with things and love nature and just relax. It's kind of deep feeling of security which money won't give you.